the outside, looking inside Training Camp 2024. I'm the common man, Dan Cole, along with Tina B. We're at the TCO Performance Center, the new Winter Park. Hour number 2 of the show. We're excited and delighted to be joined by Blake Cashman of the Minnesota Vikings, his first year here. Now, I want us to get something straight right away so that we're on the same page. I know you've probably done a lot of media interviews. I'm not like the other media guys. I actually played the game you play. I was a fierce pass rushing, Rocket Gibraltar run stopping defensive lineman, and a precise route running, sure-handed pass catching tight end. So we're on the same wavelength.
Okay.
Yeah, now again, that was back in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, so it was a long time ago, but I did play both sides of the ball. Did you play all? My guess is when you were playing younger, you played both offense and defense.
Definitely when I was younger, but when you get to high school, Mike Grant, I think he tends to put his better players on defense, but
Okay.
I always pushed to play both sides of the ball. So my senior year, I actually played a little bit of receiver. So
Did you?
I went from corner to like an in-the-box safety to linebacker, and then I was playing receiver as well on the other side of the ball.
Which spot did you like the best? If you could pick your position in football right now, would it be where you're at, or would there be other spots you'd like to play?
Definitely a linebacker. The offensive players, they always get all the attention and the love. So
Right.
if I was like a big body athletic tight end, I think that would be an awesome position too.
Yeah, it sure would. You're from here, Eden Prairie. A local kid makes good, which is always a good story. I have to ask you the question: when you were a kid and you showed the ability to play football at a high level, and you go to the University of Minnesota and play under Fleck, was there any I'd like to play pro football and I'd like to be with the Minnesota Vikings, the hometown team?
Yeah, I mean, it was always a dream. I think anybody in this position playing pro ball, they always have their eyes set on the NFL. I would say it was after my sophomore season at Minnesota, kind of had a breakout year, was starting on a lot of sub packages on defense, is when I really believed I had a good opportunity. And then, once I was fortunate to get drafted by the New York Jets, my agent and I are chopping it up, talking, and, he asked me, is there, before it's all said and done, is there a team you want to play for before you hang up the cleats? And I've always said the Minnesota Vikings, just to, capture that hometown kid, that full circle moment. So I'm really happy and blessed that it's come to life now.
You were injury-riddled during your time with the Jets, and Tenneby and I were talking about before you came on the air. You play there, you go to Houston, your first year there is pretty good, but you're probably at the point there where it's like you're at the point where you're kind of fighting for your career, and then you just have a breakout season last year playing down in Houston.
Yeah, I got to Houston and learned a lot there. Honestly, just on different ways I can help keep me healthy. They have a great performance staff, very similar to here at the Vikings. The Vikings, I mean, it's almost the same. So I'm really fortunate to be a part of two great organizations and performance staffs. But I was fighting in Houston to try to get out of that role as like a backup Sam, Will, Mike, or maybe a starting Sam and just special teams ace. I always believed I was more than that. And then last year, I got my number called a lot, got a lot of opportunity, play significant snaps on defense, and I was able to take advantage of it for the most part.
What was DeMeco Ryans like playing for in Houston?
He's awesome. Right guy for the job. He's going to have that team ready to play every Sunday. He has very contagious energy, and every player, everybody in that building loves playing for him, loves working for him. And he was a linebacker, and he's been around the game for a long time, so he knows it well. And I think what separates him from other coaches is the fact that he did have a lot of experience playing pro ball, so he understands at least that linebacker, because he was always on us about perfect technique and the fundamentals. Is he understands the challenges at each position and how to get yourself in better opportunity to make plays.
Our guest is Blake Cashman, Eden Prairie native, played his college ball at the University of Minnesota under P.J. Fleck, and started his career with the Jets, now here with the Vikings. I want to go back to Mike Grant. I got to know him a little bit because when I was at the Forest Lake radio station back in the early 90s doing sports, he was coaching the Forest Lake football team, so I used to do a Coach's Corner show with him every Saturday. Got to know him really well. He's not only a great football coach, but he's got a great sense of humor. He's a lot of fun. What was it like playing a high school ball under Mike?
It was great. He was always involved in the football program, even with the Youth Football Association. So every player gets, really close, familiar with him, and you're not lying. He does have a great sense of humor, always keeping the mood light. And what I love about Mike, though, is like he's a great coach, but he's a great builder of young men. Like there's expectations and standards that are supposed to be met just outside of the football field, and that involves the classroom, your work in the community, all that. So there's a reason why a lot of men come out through that program, and our young boys come through that program and become great young men.
One of your teammates just joined us, Jets, Justin Jefferson. Yo. How you doing, big boy? Everything good?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Yeah, you're doing great. Looks good. How's training camp treating you so far?
Training camp is training camp. You gotta be prepared to go on these long days and hard practices of competing with your teammates, but all in all, it's pretty well. I mean, just trying to fit in with everybody. Of course, these new quarterbacks, trying to get comfortable with them, trying to build that connection with them, but it's all good.
How different is one quarterback from the next? You worked with Kirk for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden now you got Sam and JJ. Do they throw different kinds of balls, different releases, different ways to approach the quarterback position? Is it a lot different?
I wouldn't say a lot different, but it is different in some type of ways. JJ's more of a strong arm type of guy. He will sling it, he will zip it in there. Sam will put a little bit more touch on it. Of course, Sam is a little bit older, so he's a little bit more familiar with the offense and how to read and how to really move around in the offense. And of course, Kirk, I've been with Kirk for 4 years, so that chemistry and connecting with him, that just kind of built it along the way. So it's time for us to really, settle in and build that connection with each other.
When you signed your deal, you said it's time for you to be a leader of the team. How has that gone for you so far as your first, season is really, I'm going to be one of the leaders of this team? Are the players following you, or is it going well in that kind of a role for you so far?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even before the money, I had the C on my chest and was a leader of this team. That's something that the team voted for me to be, and I carry that with pride. So every single time I step foot on this field or even outside of this building, I just try to, be the best person or player that I can be. And just having these young guys in the building, just trying to coach them up as much as possible and just trying to show them the ways of being a professional and going about my way. Of course, me being a younger guy, I still have things to learn and still things to really overcome. So there's always, things for me to look at and to really, get used to.
I wanted to ask you, I just got done watching your series on Netflix called Receiver. What was that experience like to have a camera following you, coming into your house, and obviously an up and down season for you last year?
Yeah, it was an experience. Of course, I would rather have a better season just, with the injury and stuff, just having them come around following me and showing the process of getting back on the field. I feel like it was a different view that people can really see. It's not just like a regular season. Everything is going well. Just being hit with adversity and having to deal with it, head on. It definitely was tough during the process, but looking back on it and watching the series, it really shows, the determination that I had to get back on that field.
One more question for you, because you got to run. A lot of the so-called experts, the media, fans, and the like, they think that it's, in this division, they think the Vikings might be that fourth team or battling with Chicago for that third spot, because the Lions, with the season they had last year, Green Bay got a playoff win. What's your answer to that? What can you tell Viking fans out there why you think this is going to be a season which the Vikings can make some noise?
I mean, we're never competing for the last or the third spot. We're looking to compete for the first. We're trying to be the leaders of this division. We know what we have in this building. We know the talent that we have in this building, and it's all up to us whether we want it or not. So I feel like this team is definitely coming along. Of course, we have a whole bunch of new players in the building, but with the new addition and the different types of cats that we have on this team, we're definitely looking a lot better than fourth or third in this this division. And I feel like, sooner or later they will find it out soon.
Yeah, very good. One of the newcomers, your guy Blake Cashman over here, a linebacker. So he's new with the team. Good luck to you this year. Thanks for sharing
you so
a couple minutes
much.
with us.
Appreciate you.
That.
Appreciate you.
That's
Thanks,
Jets.
Thank you.
Blake, what's it been like to be in camp here with a short period of time with Justin Jefferson? I mean, arguably best receiver in the game?
Definitely the best receiver in the game. And, sitting here listening to you ask him questions about, his leadership and just his approach mentality to coming to work every day. Like, he's a great example for a lot of these young players to look at and watch, because every day he steps on the grass, I mean, he's going 100 miles per hour, working hard, always finding something to get better. So I'm really excited to see what a great performance he's going to put on this year.
I know before JJ came in and interrupted you, you were talking about Mike Grant. I want to hear about PJ Fleck, because from a media standpoint, right, I mean, just constant energy, constant talking, but we're only seeing him in small clips. Is he like that all the time?
Oh, he is what you see in the media, what you see on TV is how he is in person. He's always very energetic, intense. I mean, I'm talking it's 5:30 a.m. weights, and, we have a team meeting before we get into our winter workouts, and it's like the guy's been up for, 5 hours already, and he's on his 4th cup of coffee. It's amazing, but, PJ Fleck has a high standard there at the University of Minnesota, and he's going to elevate his players, his coaches to get to that level and match his intensity, and that's why the program has been headed in the right direction.
I always said, the row the boat, so you must still have your oar from rowing the boat at the University of Minnesota. I always recommended people bring a life jacket too, just because you never know, right? You get out in the open seas, and if it sinks, you don't want to be swim to shore. Do you also have a life jacket?
We talk about the oar and the boat and your compass, and we don't talk about sinking because we're always going forward, but you're with your teammates, or we call it the family, your brothers on the boat. So if the boat starts going down, we're helping each other in the water.
One last question for you. You're with B-Float, Brian Flores, and he's a phrase he said last year, and we kind of hang our hat on it here when talking about the defenses, being aggressive without being reckless. And he blitzes a lot. He's got a lot of exotic packages. What's it like playing for him? How different is, and it's been a short period of time, I get that, but how different is his philosophy to defense? And then how do you think you fit in? Will you talked about you didn't want to just be a Will, a Mike, or a Sam. Do you think you'll move around a lot? What do you foresee for you in this defense?
Well, Flo has the expectation that guys need to know multiple spots, as he wants to create a very exotic defense. And the goal is to cause chaos for the offense, get them in a panic before the ball is even snapped. And, it's a very new defense to me, something I've never been a part of. But now as we get into training camp, we start putting the pads on, I'm finally starting to see what they've been talking about all spring, because during OTAs it's hard to kind of get those live reps. But the way we're gelling together as a defense, the intensity we bring, the communication has been great. Like, we're going to be a dangerous team and dangerous defense, but I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to be a sleeping giant this year.
Sweet. Hey, congratulations on coming back home. You said that's what you wanted to do. You're with the Vikings. Nice contract. You're off to a great start in your career. Thanks for spending time with us, and good luck this year.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You bet. That's Blake Cashman, Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and now with the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers, now with the Vikings. Take a short break. We'll come back with more, broadcasting live from Training Camp 2024 from Egan right here on the Fan.